Today, we are asking a bold question. Is Mumbai moving north and west, or is the heart of the city simply getting a new heartbeat? Hello and welcome to MBTV. I'm your host, Reena Kaurav. Buying a home in Mumbai is never just about four walls, it's about betting on a micro market, its future connectivity, lifestyle, and long term value. As the city pushes beyond south and central, all eyes are on the suburban stretch of Borivali, Malad, Villeparle, Santa Cruz, Mulund, and Thane. Are these areas really the next big growth story, or do buyers still need to be careful? Today, we decode the data, the infrastructure, and the opportunities with our expert guest so you can make smarter decisions about where to invest in Mumbai's evolving skyline. We have with us Ms. Ankita Luharuka, CEO of Alliance City, joining us from Mumbai. A very warm welcome, Ms. Ankita. Ankita, my first question to you is what are the real demand drivers in Mumbai's suburban corridors today? Population migration, infrastructure, affordability, or lifestyle upgrades? And how do they compare with South and Central Mumbai?
Suburban corridors like Malad, Borivali, and Mulund and Thane are seeing a soaring demand. And the reason here is very clear. The first thing is the affordability, and that is, I think, the major one. Families can get a larger space, they can get modern amenities at a very reasonable price. And the other thing, the major thing which is going on is the infrastructure. We have new metro lines, link road, the expressways, and the suburbans are really very nicely connected to it. And finally is the other thing is the lifestyle. Today buyers generally they are not looking for four walls. Today they want modern amenities like gym, garden, co-working spaces, communities and all. And if we compare this to central or south Mumbai, still I'll say they attract demand, but then that is for a very different reason. It is more about prestige, and of course there's scarcity with prestige. Buyers pay there for legacy of the address and not for the actual space. And that's where we come in Alliance City, where we have built our presence in suburban in Malad and Borivali, where families truly get their values without overstretching their budget, and they can enjoy the product, the lifestyle, what they are looking at, and that too at a very good price.
So, Ankita, with metro expansions, coastal road, and new link routes, which specific suburban corridors are expected to see the highest benefit in terms of travel time reduction and, in turn, property price appreciation?
Yeah, see, so the formula here is very simple. Where the metro goes, value is going to flow. So once you cut the travel time, the property value automatically rises. It's a direct connection between time and value. So today, if we see the coastal road, metro lines, new link road, they are changing the entire map of Mumbai. The western suburban, especially the Goregaon, Malad, Borivali link road, they are benefiting the most from metro lines 2A and 7. So I think today we as Alliance also we have also positioned ourselves in those areas where we get benefit both in terms of connectivity and the pricing. And of course, then this thing is going to go ahead like this.
Ankita, Alliance City has a strong presence in Malad and Mulund, but prices in areas like Borivali and Matunga have also witnessed sharp growth recently. How do you view this trend? As natural growth or as an overdue price correction?
Think Borivali and Matunga both have seen a sharp price rising. But then the story behind each one is different. Borivali growth is a natural catch up. For years, I think Borivali was undervalued compared to Andheri and Goregaon, despite having strong fundamentals there. But now, with the metros, the coastal, and redevelopment happening finally, Borivali has been catching up with its potential, what was actually there. When I see this with Matunga, on the other hand, it's about scarcity and that is more about cultural values. Supply is extremely limited and the demand there is very strong. So, prices, of course, are going to surge high as families compete for limited stock. So we being there, we have done projects in Borivali also, we have done projects in Matunga also. So we have seen that this is just a natural price rise which has happened, and this is not something which is an inflated thing. So some markets do rise overnight, but then I think this both the markets have been done, their values have been come out brick by brick.
With property rates skyrocketing, affordability and Mumbai have not gone hand in hand for a long time. Navi Mumbai was once considered a hope, but with the new airport and improved infrastructure, even this region has seen a massive surge in prices. Now, Ankita, as we talk about Mumbai 3.0, how optimistic are you? Will it offer budget buyers a decent option, or is it still too early to predict?
So see, affordability and Mumbai have never gone hand in hand for decades. So Navi Mumbai one time was an hope, people were like, this is the pricing where house can be built and so on. But then with the new airport and MTH, even the market there have turned premium. But I think Mumbai 3.0 offers a very new chapter now. This is going to extend to Thane, Kalyan, Dombivli, Panvel, and all those areas. And there, if you see the growth corridor is more like a very good, you will see a lot of infrastructure being planned there upfront. There are wide roads, lot of metros coming in, modern townships, and social infrastructure. I think today for budget buyers, this is an golden opportunity. Early movers can go buy aspirational houses there today at the prices what they are looking at. And I think this is not just Mumbai expanding, this is Mumbai reinventing. So we are going to reinvent Mumbai into these corridors. And yes, we are trying to make our presence there where we can also deliver affordable housing, and buyers who have come can take benefit of this in long run.
In Mumbai, redevelopment is unlocking supply in the city core while suburbs are seeing large new projects. For a buyer, what are the pros and cons of choosing redevelopment projects versus new suburban townships?
So redevelopment and suburban township both have their own unique advantages, and it really comes down with buyers' priorities what they are looking at. So generally, if I talk of redevelopment in the city core, so that is of course going to give you an unbeatable location, which will be close to offices, hospitals, schools, and the prestige of central address which they have. But then it's with a trade-off, like you will have smaller flats of the higher ticket sizes of the flats and the complex timelines, of course, to complete those projects. But when we compare it with suburban townships, so there we have larger homes, there are a lot of amenities which the buyers are looking at, and a lot of open spaces. They are built around modern amenities with park, clubhouse, there are retail outlets, there are co-working spaces and communities. I think the only trade-off what they do here is of the distance. But now with the expressways, the metros, the travel time is of course shrinking. The gap is, coming closer on the travel time. So I think if location is king, so there the redevelopment is always going to rule. But if lifestyle is queen, township wins the crown. So for most of the families today, they are of course going to select lifestyle and the spaces, bigger priorities. So yeah, the suburban have a win. The queen will always have a win, I think.
So, Ankita, how will redevelopment projects impact demand? Will the additional supply be significant enough to put pressure on prices?
Redevelopment is, of course, reshaping Mumbai city core today. It's unlocking supply in the area where new land simply doesn't exist. We don't have any land for development. So, the best way is obviously redeveloping the land what is there. Buyers here have fresh options in south and central pockets that ones which they were stuck with limited stock. But then, if you ask me, will this supply lead to a price down? Then, honestly, I think that's a big no no because demand in these markets are still strong. And if I see today the cost of construction, premium, the compliances is so high that developers cannot afford to reduce prices. So today with redevelopment, what more is going to create is the buyer will have good choices, better quality and sustainable demand. So the prices are nowhere going to reduce, but of course the buyer will have lot of choices, lot of option to select for what they are looking at.
So, Ankita, at last, my wrap up question to you is what risks should buyers consider before investing in suburban areas and how can they safeguard themselves?
So if I see suburban investments are of course attractive, you get good value for the money you have put in. but then it comes with its own risk. I won't say it is only with suburban or town or south. So delays are obviously going to happen for any developer who are not sure of what they want to do. If there are infrastructure delays, there is oversupply in certain pockets, then all those things are obviously going to flatten the price growth. But then, when there are smaller developers who have just started their career into construction, who are not sure of which approvals they want, how is the project going to turn out, what is the feasibility of that, then those projects, there are chances that those projects get stuck. But then, there today we have RERA in place where if all the buyers today of course go on RERA website, they check the developer's profile and all. So in case if anybody wants to, if you are looking to buy or invest into a property, I would recommend first to do a thorough check of the builder, because these days everything is available online. You can go and check their RERA portals, you can go and check their websites, you can go around and check the work they have done. I think if these basic things are done and then you go and invest, the chances of the delays or something is very less. And every developer who is working today is working on a thin margin, so delays are of course not any developer would prefer to do it intentionally. So yeah, in real estate, of course, trust is the biggest currency, but the buyers, of course, have to do their own research. They have to go and invest in developers which are known in the markets. You have to do your proper paperwork, get your agreements registered. So that's where Alliance City prioritizes in transparencies, compliances. We believe in timely delivery of projects. So I think till date, we have delivered with OC around 11 projects in a decade, and all the projects which we have delivered are before the RERA timelines. So that is our golden mark what we have achieved. So buyers today, they have confidence in our project. They know कि बाबा हम अलायंस में जाके ले रहे हैं तो आप हमको टाइम के पहले डिलीवरी दे देंगे. And when buyers come and tell us that, we get very proud of it कि seeing कि चलो, if you are investing so much, you are getting a product well before time. So that is the goodwill what we are looking at, and we want to build that legacy in coming years also.
Thanks a lot, Ankita, for such an insightful interview.